So the MOD just announced that it's going to start accepting applications for foreign people from the Commonwealth countries, namely India, Jamaica, etc., to join the British Army, and they won't have to wait the 5 years. They won't have to live in the UK for 5 years anymore to be able to join the British Army. I personally think this is very insulting to people who live in these countries, foreign people who have had their countries under British rule and British influence, especially in places like India, where Britain ruled for 200 years. Like, okay, so we're going to go over, rape your people, loot your people, murder your forefathers, destroy your country, rinse it of minerals and valuables and anything we can, oil, etc. And then we're going to fuck off. We're going to tell you your country is uncivilized. We're going to tell you why can't your country be like ours, despite us being responsible for your country being in the state that it's in. We're going to complain about people from your country coming over to Britain to try and find a better life, even though we asked people from your country to come over after the Second World War, when all the lovely white people went out and got shot, when we lost all the lovely white British troops fighting against Hitler. We asked people from the Commonwealth, from Jamaica and the Caribbean and India, etc., to come over and help and work in our NHS, sweep our roads, drive our buses, and basically help to rebuild the country, which they did, gratefully and willingly so, because they were grateful for the opportunity to make a new life in many cases, which they did. And now that we've been able to reproduce enough lovely white babies, now the current climate is too much immigration. There's too many immigrants over here. We need to control how many immigrants come over. Let me tell you people something. In 2015, I think, it might have been 2016, the Centre of Economic Performance published an exhaustive study of all the effects of EU immigration to the UK from 1995 to 2015, 20 years. And they concluded that immigrants from the UK had no negative effect on social infrastructure such as housing, benefits, etc. They had no negative effect on jobs, joblessness, or being in a job, or wages, or working conditions. They discovered that they actually put out 34% more in taxes than they actually took from the system in the form of benefits and etc. And they published a study, and we're still going on about there's too many immigrants, they're taking jobs, they're taking benefits, they're rinsing the country dry, they're going on the NHS, etc. In fact, that was about the only thing that the study didn't, not as far as I'm aware, not as far as I've read, cover. Didn't say anything about the NHS there being a negative effect or a positive effect on the NHS. But if you want to get into the NHS, well, I took my son to hospital with my wife the other month. He banged his head, and he was seen by a Nigerian doctor, a Lithuanian paediatrician. So let's not go into immigrants and their effect on what they're doing to the NHS. They are the NHS by and large. So it's interesting how people from these countries, Commonwealth countries, we asked them to come over after the Second World War. We asked them to come over, and they basically built the country from the ground up. Yes, with our help, of course, with people who are British helping, naturally. And then once it's done, they're a burden now. They can go home now. We don't want you here now. You're not welcome here now. We're going to ask you to provide 3 pieces of documentation for every year that you've lived in the UK to prove you have the right to stay here now. Dexter Bristol, who had a heart attack and died despite living in the UK since he was 6 years old, trying to prove that he had the right to live. He died thinking he was going to be deported. So now they're an inconvenience. Now all of a sudden there's a problem. Oh, but don't worry, because you can now join our army and go out to some foreign land and get yourself blown the fuck up for us. That's a nice little treat for you. How about that? Join the army, go out, see your mates get shot dead by fucking Taliban or Al-Qaeda or some other cunt. Get blown up. You'll be doing us proud. But if you want to come over and you want to actually work like a regular job, you want to sweep roads or clean places or be a store clerk or something, oh, you're an immigrant coming over trying to take our jobs. How insulting. How fucking dare the MOD turn around and say, oh, sorry, right now, you haven't got to be here 5 years. You can just come over, join our army, go out and get blown up and get shot, and go out and shoot people in the back like our fucking army does a lot of the time. Go out and blow up Irish people, and go out and fucking make people sit on fucking steel poles so it goes up their arseholes. I mean, I'm incensed by this. It's absolutely insulting and despicable. For, on one hand, our society is saying, we don't want immigrants, they're a burden, they claim benefits, they're taking the jobs, they're taking all the houses, we need to stop migrants coming. And then we're saying, oh, you're welcome, but you've just got to join our army and go out and die. There's really nothing more I can say. I'm absolutely frustrated, angered and incensed by such a I'm so angry I can't talk, by such a suggestion. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.